Welcome back to the Sunday Footy Show. Of course, we'll keep you updated with the latest in the corona crisis, which has gripped the AFL. Developments by the hour, seemingly, so Damien Barrett keeping tabs and all that. First, though, let's head to the MCG. Late yesterday, this was the showdown between Collingwood and St Kilda. And Kane, the Magpies just continue on their merry way.
They were awesome right from the start. They opened up 5-2 in the first quarter. It was basically game over from there. You could see their intent and their ability to want to get after St Kilda, who couldn't handle it. I mean, the double teaming of Brody Grundy, you would say, didn't work from Ryder and Marshall because they were dominant through the midfield. Thought their midfield and their forward line connection was excellent. And one of their better players was Jack Crisp. He joins us on the line. Jack, congratulations with your form, and you would have been thrilled about that performance yesterday.
Yeah, good morning, guys. It was really good to see. So coming off last week when we started well and then obviously played a bit poor three quarters, the focus on this week was maintaining that intensity throughout the majority of the game. I think we did that really well, especially in the first half. The second half, we felt like we probably played more into St Kilda's game style a little bit, but we still maintained some good pressure on the ball and finished off strongly. The
defensive numbers are as good as we've seen for about 100 years, to be honest. The scores you are restricting the opposition to. I know it's a shortened game, but 5 goals to Richmond last week, 5 again yesterday. And Nathan Buckley said after the game, your focus was to shut down St Kilda's ball movement.
So we've, I think they were the number one ball movement side coming into the game. They move it pretty quick with overlap hands, especially from the defensive 50. So we had a big emphasis on locking the ball in our front half, as most teams normally do anyway. But with that squeeze pressure, pressing the ball hard, and then forcing turnovers. So we felt like we did that really well in the first half.
Hey Jack, what did you learn from that second half against the Tigers last week? Because obviously you started really hot, but you didn't score against. Your defence was good against Richmond, but you couldn't score. So what did you do differently yesterday?
Yeah, I think we were just a bit more predictable with the ball in hand and executed our skills a little bit better as well. Because if you turn the ball over in really poor areas, and there's no way you can defend those. So I guess skill execution is one thing, and then just playing your role and not losing reference to your opponent as well is another. Team defence kicks in when you push up the ground as well.
Playing good footy yourself, Jack. Good again yesterday. How do you sit back and have a look at yourself? Are you hard on yourself? How do you think you're going at the minute?
I'm actually quite happy with the last couple of weeks. It's been good, but as every player is probably might dwell on a couple of things and want to get better. But you've got to move on pretty quick. We can't sit and think about what's happened the last couple of days. Otherwise, you won't be ready for next week. Yeah. So got to move on pretty quick.
Seem to have a lot of peroxide going on at the club at the moment. There's at least 3 or 4 players with the rinse, and I haven't seen anyone do the double earring for a while, Jack.
My hair's a bit orange yesterday. I had to put some purple shampoo on it this morning. It still doesn't look very good, but double earring. I got it done in off-season last year. I got one, walked out, and I said, no, that's not enough. Went back and got the other one done, and I'm actually quite happy with the choice. The wife loves it, so that's what matters.
Oh, good. OK, certainly tackling the big issues here on the Sunday Footy Show today, Jack. Hey, I just want to ask you, just on a more serious matter, the COVID-19 situation. It was an unusual situation yesterday where you had the Chief Executive of the AFL just outside the MCG on the concourse. You guys are, 100 metres away in the rooms preparing for that game. Were you made aware of the situation with Conor McKenna before going out?
No, not at all. We found out pretty much straight away. Bucks just let us know in our review after the game and just said, obviously, we're just going to see what happens. But as far as we know, we just stick to what we're doing at the moment. Obviously, updates whenever we can. But, it's just a bit surreal. Just something we've got to deal with at the moment.
So what can you do, Jack? Are you, when you leave home, where are you allowed to go?
I don't know. I'll walk up and get a takeaway coffee, and then I'll come home. That's pretty much all I do.
And go to training.
How are you handling that, Jack? Yeah? How are you handling that? I know some other guys might be playing golf or something like that, but how are you handling life like that? Because some are saying the restrictions are too tough, worried about the mental health of footballers. How are you personally coping with that?
Well, I've got my 2 young girls at home, so they're keep my hands full. So I'm spending a lot of time with them, which has been great. But when the restrictions were eased the other day, I actually went and played 9 holes of golf, so that was nice, but probably won't happen again for a while. But so I've got 2 young girls, got my wife here, so a lot of family time, so that really keeps me busy throughout the days.
Jack, there's obviously stringent protocols in place with the testing of players. Just you personally, are you comfortable with how the AFL is handling this positive test of Conor McKenna? And are you comfortable, if it goes to plan this week, that they will be playing as early as next week in the scheduled game?
Yeah, I think they're doing a pretty good job. Like, it's obviously hard to juggle everything that comes forward. We've got to look after so many different aspects of it all. But I'm comfortable with what they're doing. I'm feeling pretty confident with where we're at the moment. But yeah, we're just going to have to obviously wait and see. But whether the government makes shifts where we have to adjust. But yeah, I'm more than comfortable because we've got to play in 2 weeks anyway, I think. So yeah, wait and see what pans out.
Geez, you must really relish every 2 weeks having that test. It looks awful.
Oh yeah, we've got twice a week.
Twice a week.
Before our main training and before a game. And then other than that, we're just in our small groups of 8 at the club. So yeah, we had our first full team meeting the other day, which was pretty cool. It had been a while since we did that.
So can you see why there's so many fluctuations in form then, Jack? Because you're coming together once really a week. Other than that, you're just training your groups of 8 because apart from yourselves really in Port Adelaide, there aren't too many teams that are being consistent from 1 week to the next.
Yeah, you can definitely see why. You only had like 2 or 3 weeks to pick up the game plan and train together and get a bit of chemistry back, which obviously some people might think it's enough, some people don't. But in reality is, when you only get 45 minutes of a main training session in the season to train together and practice something, it makes it a bit difficult. But that's when you rely on your relationships and what the club has already done previously. So yeah, to get moving forward.
Let's take a look at the votes because there were some very, very good players dominated by the Collingwood Football Club. Sidebottom is just, I don't know, he just does it every year, year after year. He's an absolute gun. Grundy is the best ruckman in the competition. Maynard in his 100th was solid, and that boy, our man, Jack Crisp, was sensational as well.
Hey, Jack, good to catch up with you. Enjoy the rest of the time in semi-lockdown and hopefully it's all, all going to be worth it in the long run.
Yes, we'll do. Thanks for having me on, guys.
All right, thank you. Jack Crisp joining us there from the Collingwood Football Club.